Okay, so this video is going to be again around bow drill technique, and Jeff's going to be our acting person while I just share some very basic positioning to start a bow drill fire. So the first thing, getting yourself ready. Jeff is just showing the position. So I want to mention here that a hunched position with a bent arm requires way more forearm strength to push down on the socket. So do you want to show that? So hunching down, bending your forearm. Versus an upright position. So so this is your bent position. See how Jeff's arm, so Jeff is a lefty here, is bent, so he's going to be using a lot of forearm strength. Rather than if you're more of an upright position, so Jeff's spine's going to be lengthened, and he might even be gazing in front of the kit, and his bowing arm, see how it's a lot straighter? So this allows you to lock your arm straight to better lean weight into the socket. So we're trying to be efficient here with our energy expenditure, and we want to put things into our favor. So we don't want to be just cranking our forearm, and you'll get really tired really fast here. You want to use dynamics of your body to have more weight going into the spindle with less effort. So you're going to kneel down so that your knee is behind your foot. I'm just going to list off some basic techniques here. Apply your fingers just above and below the string to adjust tension in the drill. So maybe you can show that. So we use, when we're bowing, Jeff, there's a lot of ways to do this. Sometimes you can use your thumb or your fingers to adjust tension of the string with the spindle. So just playing around with that. Keep the bow level and pull it back and forth with your hand. So just being aware of not angling your bow up or down too much. You're going to keep drilling until smoke comes through the wood punky. Fan the coal and transfer it into a tinder bundle to finish. Oh, and going back to initial setup, we want to place bark or something underneath the coal. So in this situation right now, Jeff just has a piece of birch bark, and that's underneath the notch that he would be working with. You're going to place your board so you can see, yeah, exactly. So we want something to catch any precious ash that you create. You want to place your foot about halfway across the fireboard. But again, these are just suggestions. Go with what feels good. But generally, what Jeff is showing here is, you have really good control over the board, so the board's not wobbly. You're going to hold the socket with the drill in one hand. You're going to anchor that hand against your shin. I know I mentioned this in another video, but it's so important for stability. And yeah, you're gonna wrap the drill once around the bowstring. So maybe you can just show that. So the string. So then when you wrap it once, you want the end of the spindle, that is the nipple end, to go up, and then the rounded out kind of caved end to be down on your kit. So yeah, those are, basic techniques. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit more about wrapping the spindle. So you want to wrap the cord around the spindle once, and if it ends up in between the cord and the bow, you want to take it out and wrap it again so the outside of the cord is shown. So we don't want the cord to be touching each other. Again, we mentioned in another video, but we don't want the string to be rubbing. So the cord can loosen and slip. So as we talked about before, to tighten without stopping when you're bowing, you're going to push down the cord with your thumb and up with your fingers. There's a lot of ways to do this, but we mentioned before, you're adding tension. So this way you can keep bowing without having to adjust and stop. So we just adjust with this kind of trigger point with our hand on the bow string. And there's a lot of ways, so figure out what works with you. Yeah, so you're gonna create wood punk or ash off the spindle and the fireboard, which is gonna spill into that notch that you made, and it's gonna create a small pile. And then with continued drilling, the punk becomes black and ignites. So hopefully, again, adding just more detail to your technique, and hopefully it helps you have success.